this may not be connecting with students who are using it or whatnot, but I still to this day have not had a single student even mention Second Life to me. So I'm curious to know if I'm the one out on an island or most of the folks in this room are still not hearing. I hear Second Life a lot from the 23 to 30-year-olds or older. I just don't. I don't know how relevant it is and to students.
I don't have all the statistics on Second Life. You might actually have better stats on it than I do, but I can tell you that, like I said, several years ago when Lexington was in the top 5 in the world in Second Life, there was a lot of conjecture as to how we got there. We're not a huge city, so how did our population in Second Life get so big? And one of the prevailing theories at the time was that Second Life is a place where people can experiment socially in a way that is unacceptable in the real world. So, for instance, a student that might be gay or bi or questioning or something like that could experiment socially and have a flirting relationship with somebody in a virtual world and say, maybe I do need to express these feelings openly. And so there was a lot of question that Lexington's gay, bisexual, lesbian community was one of the people that are not openly out. And that was one of the reasons that Second Life was really large in Lexington, because we do have a huge percentile of our community fits into that group. So, and I don't know if you can speak any more to
with regard to where Second Life is right now, that's why we're sort of like building it, and we've been trying to sort of like get people oriented, those who at least have been interested in either hosting their courses up there or whatever it is, that they have a lot of an education bent to it. Today we have something like, I do believe it's preventive medicine. They have a meth lab that's out there, and it's actually used for continuing education to teach emergency responders and law enforcement officials and how to go in and deal with that. And of course it's also used with some of their students who are in public health. There was a history or political science course, I do believe, that was meeting in Second Life last semester. There was a discovery seminar that was held over there for freshman students. And initially, I'll be the first to admit, I think that Second Life might be a learning environment that's got a better bent to it for graduate students. And I was a little surprised to see how well the undergraduates had taken to it. And like I said, they were freshmen. And one of their, some of their projects in there entailed, required that what they had to do was figure out what they were doing. They had to explore. For example, they were given assignments where one group had to go ahead and explore religious diversity. And they had to do it like what's over here in the real world, or in Lexington, or in this region, and then what was out there in Second Life, and they did comparison studies. So religion was one of them, a foreign land was another one, and then I think there was one which was really interesting, where it was the Netherlands, specifically Amsterdam. So there's an Amsterdam in Second Life, and then there's one, of course, and what was great though, which really sort of got me thinking, or at least revising some of my perceptions about Second Life, is the fact that the students were all going, we were finding this in Second Life, but it prompted us to do research about this in real life. And then of course they were using things like Google and Wikipedia and everything else to do that. But then we were also able to take that opportunity to say, do you know, over at Young Library you have your resource librarians, and this is what you can do with that. So we were able to take it a step. Now once again, exactly where is it going? That's why we're working with some of the instructors who are interested in Second Life, just to see where it would go. We have no idea, Jared. So when you say, I think like when I think it was the registrar's office, when they were anticipating that we might be able to use it as a recruiting tool. I don't know how well it's going to work in that, because once again, you have to get an avatar. There is a learning curve in going with your avatar. I mean, my avatar is there. I don't fly, I don't walk, I drop half the time, and it's pathetic, and I find it clumsy. Another thing about Second Life that, does not necessarily fit in my technical realm is the fact that we build a lot of things and we model a lot of things, whether it's in Poser or Flash, and none of these files can we bring into Second Life. So we're still confined to sort of like your slides and your video and everything else. So once again, you have those restrictions. And we have been looking elsewhere, whether it's your PlayStation or whatever it is, on where you can go in and have these. Because once again, they're just alternate sort of like learning environment.
Right.
That's what it is. I don't think it will ever substitute for what we do, in real time with our students.
Yeah.
And this brings us to the other thing, as you're talking about all this communication stuff. At what point is the communication or the information mundane? How do you make it relevant to the students so that you're not deleting it when you do send them a message?
Right.
So, it comes out like just ties in. You just have to figure out what's appropriate.
Yes. Thank you very much. Do we have other questions? All right. Well, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming out. All these. Oh, you clap, but I was just about finished. All this information is located on the SharePoint. Under shared documents, you can download this. There are links to the discussion list. There's actually a little discussion forum that I set up so that you guys, if you think of things later, you can respond and post some questions, and we can have an open discussion to try to integrate this technology into what we do today and to prepare for the future.
I promise you'll have Jack back before 2 years. Obviously. Thanks, Jack. Thanks to all your IT people.
Yes, thank you very much.
Please host us.